Captain Kenny here, Smokehouse Barbecue. Yacht Club's got a chili cook-off today, so I'm going to make my award-winning chili. It's going to be half beef and half venison hamburger. It's about a 50-50 blend. It's about 2 1/4 pounds of regular hamburger and probably about 3 pounds of ground deer meat. Y'all stay tuned. I'm going to also change it up a little bit and make my own chili powder this time. I've got some dried Ancho chilies. Got some dried Ancho chilies right there. And I saw this on another cooking show where you de-seed it, toast them up, grind them, and that's your chili powder. So this is going to take the chili up another notch, maybe at first place today. We've already got the deer meat and hamburger defrosted, and so what we're going to do is we're going to get that going. And after this has been going, we're going to get the chili powder ground up. I'm going to let this cook about 50% because it is actually almost 50% still frozen. So what we'll do is we'll just let that cook under a medium heat. It'll be defrosted here in about 5 minutes. What we've got is we've got 2 bags of these. They smell pretty good. Got kind of a tobacco smell to them. So it looks like the bags are in ounces, but you can see it's not the same amount of actual peppers itself. So we're going to pull that out, get the seeds out. They're fairly tough. Like I said, this will be the first time of doing this way. Hopefully it'll produce good results. Sounds like the rain's letting up outside. Definitely smoky smell. Oops. Some of these are kind of dry. I thought they were fairly flexible. I bit them in their bag, but they're a lot crisper than I thought they would be. I think you want them like this, where they're pliable. These are crisp, but I'm sure they'll do the same. We're going to heat them up in a skillet and get them really crispy. Okay. And you break them up. They sure do smell pretty good. I didn't get all the seeds out. Got the majority of them out. And what we're going to do is roast these for, I don't know, 5 minutes. Medium heat, medium high. It's hard to tell on these electric stoves what. Got like some pepper residue on my fingers. Got a few seeds in there. What I'll do is I'll dump all them seeds out of there. That's the majority of them. right. Oops. Hamburgers. Almost unthawed. Whoops. You know, one thing about cooking, it's multitasking. You have to do multiple things at the same time in order for things to complete at the right times. If you're not real good at multitasking, cooking can be tough. And also, you know what they say, a watched kettle doesn't overboil, or something like that. So you need to stay in the kitchen the whole time while you're cooking. Once we get this browned up, we're going to transfer this into a crock pot. And it's going to simmer all afternoon. The cook-off isn't until 5. I'm going to leave here at 4. And it's just now 11 o'clock. Pepper. I can smell those peppers starting to cook. Good. Wafting, whiffing. Turn it down a little bit more. We're going to put this into a food processor and grind it. Have a little mass. They say add some corn chips with it, so we're going to add a few corn chips. Make sure that ain't getting too hot. Okay, everything's coming along nicely. Back over onto the heat. These are like double roasted ancho chilies. I'm just going to let those cool completely down. Fresh ingredients we have. It's going to be 1 bell pepper, 1 onion, and a handful of serrano peppers. These are just going to be diced up. Not real fine. Oops, I probably took off one too many. Need to cut a little more of that root off. Okay. These we're going to put in the food processor after the chili powder is made, and we're going to those are going to get ground up. Seeds and all. Doesn't have to be real fine dice. Okay. Okay, this is cooking pretty nicely. I'm going to leave the lid off of it now. That'll let some of that moisture evaporate out of there. Since it being frozen, you've got some moisture that's just held in the meat. Any grease that's in here we're also going to drain off, but there might not be any because that was this is pretty lean meat. It's 7% fat. With the deer meat, I don't know what percentage it is, but see, look, it's just water there. Okay. Ooh, that's still hot. Yeah, we need to grind them a little bit. Okay, y'all can see that. Woo-wee! Just kind of tablespoons of cumin. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. I'll have the recipe down below. Go hog wild with this cayenne pepper. Zatarain's is pretty warm. Level teaspoon. Oh, one more ingredient. Paprika. This batch is not getting any paprika. I am out and I'm not going to the store, so it'll just be missing that. Tastes like chili we're making today will have beans in it. Oh, and we're going to grind up our serranos. I wouldn't want to just dump this in the bottom of it because it might kind of stick to the bottom, and I don't want a bunch of chili powder just stuck to the bottom of it. So we're going to put that in after the ingredients are added. So let's add our serranos in there and grind those up. Don't want to sniff that. That'll take your breath away. Tricks to if this hamburger's tough, which it seems like it's a little tough. The long cook time, you know, cook it for about 4 hours, makes all the meat real tender. Now the deer meat's probably tender anyhow. No telling what kind of cow, because I've had many a hamburger made out of that deer meat. And it basically just falls apart on the grill, so I'm not doubting the deer's, because it wasn't an old one. That seems like a lot, but it's those will cook down. We need a couple pot holders. They call that deer and cow au jus. Drain that fat off, but who knows, I might drain the fat off and put it on the dog food. We're fixing to put this together now. The meat goes in. Might be a brimmer. Yep, pretty close. And we got some other things to add in. Okay, one thing I found out is that monitor I've got on here sucks the batteries down. Okay, we're going to put this thing together. We're going to add the serrano peppers to it. We're not quite done with this because we're going to use the chopper again to process the tomatoes, because these are actually whole tomatoes. Put the tomato juice in there. Now we're going to dump the get out of y'all's way. I've never done this with whole tomatoes in this chopper. We're going to see how. Okay, it worked pretty well. What do y'all think? Here's the rest of them. That's 2 28-ounce cans of whole tomatoes. That's that for tomatoes. Okay. Normally I put the small can of tomato paste in there, but something motivated me to get the big can. And that will give it more of a tomatoey flavor. The whole tomatoes don't actually give it too much tomato flavor, but this paste will, that's for sure. Okay, and then we're going to put our spice mix. But you got to remember, that's not all chili powder. That's 2 tablespoons of cumin, a teaspoon of cayenne, and 2 packages of those Ancho chilies and some corn chips. And we're going to add beans like the last hour, because I don't want them to turn into mush. That's probably about 1.25 cups, 1.33 cups. You don't want it just swimming. Give it a stir, and then we'll be back in an hour. We're going to just let it simmer for an hour before we even look at it. Get the spices kind of mixed in there, that way they're marrying in with the moisture that's in there. It's plugged in. Okay, that would have sucked to come out here 2 hours later and it's not plugged in. The label wore off this 10 years ago, but I know turned all the way one direction is high, the other direction's off. So as long as the light's on and it's turned all one direction, it's on full blast. Clean up, aisle 1. Okay, we're about an hour into this cook. Oh, it's starting to smell pretty good. A little heat. Oh yeah. Now we probably need to test this to see if it has enough chili powder in it. It's got that deep, rich color to it. Color's right. Let's try a little bit of it. Very good. Need some more salt in it. I haven't really put that much in it. It's a good tablespoon. It's like a winning chili to me. Half deer meat, half beef. I'm going to tell everyone this is possum. And I'm going to put beans in it. Okay, the chili's done. I forgot to push record when I added the beans to it, but basically I just drained them and dumped 4 cans of beans in there. I divided them up, and I've got some I'm taking to my mom, and I've got some that I'm leaving here for my wife. So there's the finished product right there. And I'll try and take some video while I'm at the chili cook-off. Captain Kenny signing off, Smokehouse Barbecue. Until we meet again, y'all take care.